Erwin Trojansky, born November 29th, 1938, in Weindorf, which is close to Radibor, Oberschlesien, which is the state which is now abdicated to Poland as a reparation. I had a sister, Rosemary, was the oldest one, was born 1931, and then my second sister, which was born in 1934, Traudel as we call that. And I also have a brother who is younger than me, he was born 1940. I mean, from bottom up, Germany at that time was totally destroyed. You know, you couldn't get anything, you had to bargain for things, you had to black market for things, and I mean, I keep saying a life wasn't worth much. A life was, you just cling to life to get, you know, to the next section of life that you want to live, to another day, because there was nothing there. Wherever you go, there was nothing. So nobody was allowed to go out. So you could actually sense the tension in the room because everybody was different in the attitude. There was always this murmur and this hush hush and all. And nobody was sleeping. We found out that they wanted to blow up the school with us in there to get rid of us. But then the dean of the school, or the guy in charge of the school, talked them out and said, look, why don't we just take, the Americans are coming up the valley, why don't we just throw them against the American front lines and let them get rid of them? And this way we have our school, because it was a relatively new school, because we need a school after the war. So we got saved by the fact that it was a newer school. I hope it's over, because, you know, we had it before and we went before, and all of a sudden you could hear in the back, boom, a bomb went in, boom, another bomb blew up. And next thing, this bomb came within 15 feet of the house. And we were the lucky house, because right across the street, there was a SWAT going, and there was nothing there. There was houses, literally cut straight down. The house across the street from us, you could see the picture still on the wall. The door you could see, you know, still in there. Pictures on the wall. It was just little like you take a knife and you cut it right down. Dresden was so packed that there were no more room for trains to go into Dresden. And so we were out there maybe 10 kilometers. And we were staying there, and then Dresden was bombed at that point. And by luck, we were outside of it, and we didn't get hit. If we were there in Dresden, if they would have let us in with the train, we would have been dead, because Dresden at that time was firebombed. You know, after a while, to us, it was normal, because we're so used to it. It became normal. That's the way we are. That's the way everybody is. They all have to walk. They all have to do this. They all have to starve, you know. You accept that. And so to say that you cry, you know, yeah, you cried yourself to sleep because you were hungry. You slept in the woods. You slept under hay bales, you know, that were old hay bales that were out there, and if you ever found a barn, you're lucky that they let you get into the barn, because a lot of them would not. I think the bombing. I think that was probably the most scared point in my life, because when that explosion takes place or took place, your mind just goes. I think your mind just collapses and doesn't want to know what's going on. Like, you don't want to know whether you're going to die or not. There's so much going through your mind, but primarily you just, you want to collapse into yourself. I think that was probably the worst, because you didn't know whether you're going to live or die in that instant. Let's say I was hungry. And did I mention we were hungry? Hunger is something that you won't forget, because you know what you had to go through to get a bite. I remember even when we were in Czechoslovakia, in order to eat and survive, you did anything. You went out into the field, picked stones for the farmers to get a slice of bread, and we were happy about that. So it took a long time. It was like in the teens before I really can say I had meals that were, to the point of being full. Hunger is when you go to bed and you haven't eaten anything, and you wake up and there's nothing to eat, and you know it. Feeling sorry for yourself at that point, there's no interest, there's no meaning. So you just have to keep going and see where you can find something to eat, and if you do get something to eat, it will never be enough.
How do you think growing up in Germany at that time, how do you think that changed you? Did that make you a different person?
Of course it does. I think once you go through something that is that harsh for that time 6.5-year-old, I don't think it is something that you'll probably never forget. All in all, I mean, I think for me, life so far has been great. I mean, I can't complain. I've accomplished a lot in my life, what I think I accomplished. Overall, yeah, I'm quite happy. I'm quite satisfied with life as it turned out of the meager beginning and the hardship. It's like Phoenix rising, The only thing I always felt bad was for my parents, for my mother especially, because she had to start her life twice. Once when she got married and she had us kids, and make a house and home for us in Radibor, and then just lose everything at one point. It's like just taking you and putting you in a no man's land and saying, okay, start all over again. So anyway, I don't make a joke out of it. That's about it. It's life in a nutshell.